Ride along live, worldwide. Feel the beat, feel the vibe. Amazing host leading the ride. Power to the people we shine. Giving fans what they need. Caribbean spirit, let's succeed. Every show with a good deed. Together we plant the seed. Ride along, join the dance, let's sing the song. From island to island strong, with the host we belong. Energy high, heart so bright. Tune in, feel the light. Global love taking flight. Every ride a sheer delight. Making waves across the seas. Love and joy in the breeze. Ride along live if you please. Bringing hope with such ease. Ride along, join the dance, let's sing the song. From island to island strong, with the host we belong.
Looking for a hassle-free way to rent a car in Grenada? Welcome to Ride Car Rental, offering efficient, time-saving service with affordable rates and 100% paperless rentals. Whether you're visiting or need a quick ride, we've got you covered. Call now at 473-422-1011 and get behind the wheel today. Ride Car Rental, where convenience meets the road.
Are you looking to take your business or event to the next level? Advertise on Ridealong Live and reach over 10 million viewers worldwide every month. With a global audience tuning in for the latest news, entertainment, and culture, your message will get the exposure it deserves. Don't miss the opportunity to showcase your brand to a diverse and engaged audience. Ride Along Live, where the world watches and your business grows. Contact us today to get started.
Energy high, heart so bright. Tune in, feel the light. Global love taking flight. Every ride.
Yeah, it's the real deal. Welcome to Ride Along Live for today. It is Wednesday, yet hump day. How are ya? How you guys doing? Thank you so much, guys. It's another blessed day. Ian Baker, how you doing, my friend? I ain't seen you in a long time. Guys, as you're coming, go ahead and share the program. Alice, do like Alice is doing right now and share the program. And after you share the program, I want you to say, I share. Because today's program, we are going to be speaking with a young man. If you never heard a story of hope before in your life, you're going to hear it here today. You are going to hear it here today. If you are sitting there and you're depressed and you're feeling everything is not going right for you, yet you have life and you have health and you have family and you have all of these things and you're sitting there and you're stressing out, you got to watch this program. No lie. You have to watch this program here tonight because my next guest, I would say he's been through it. At a very, very, very tender age, he's going to explain to us and talk to us about how his father, right, injected him with HIV-infected blood. I'm not going to preempt his story, but you could imagine starting off life very early with that reality. He's here to tell us about his survival mechanism, how he was able to conquer, achieve, and all about hope. So everybody share the program right now. Everybody share the program. Aisha Marilyn, thank you so much for sharing. We appreciate you. Yes. Akeem. Akeem, how you doing, my friend? Akeem, we're still friends. Even if you didn't share the program because you didn't get put in it, you're still my friend. Yeah, Akeem? Yeah, you're still my friend, Akeem. I could never say nothing bad about Akeem. All right? I could never say anything bad about Akeem. There's a lot of people I can never say anything bad about. I dare not. All right, guys. So we all shared up. Hey, good evening to you, Wendy C. Maguire. How you doing, my friend? Can never say anything bad about Wendy C. Maguire either. Nadia, could never say nothing bad about Nadia. Gail, happy birthday, Gail. Is it today your birthday, Gail, or was it yesterday? Big hugs and kiss to Gail. The folks in Nigeria, Ghana, Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, 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 everywhere. Let me just generalize it. Everybody, everywhere. Before I bring in my next guest, also, Deanne Fraser, how you doing? We got some new merchandise, guys. We got some new merchandise. And, you know, that's how we're able to maintain and keep this stuff going, keep production going. So we was telling you about a few weeks ago about the sweaters and the T-shirts and stuff like that, the Grenada branded. By the way, listen, we're going to have for all the Caribbean islands, right? But we step up a bit, right? So now we have the tumblers, the jug, right? We got these big. So you could get these in the store now. And also brand new, hot off the press, we now have the traveling bag as well. Yeah, the traveling bag. Very sturdy. I'm telling you, man, very sturdy. Good to go. You're traveling somewhere, you need to get these. This is available, limited are now available on the website. And we're going to put the link. It's repyourcolor.com. That's it. The repyourcolor.com, you could get it, but it's in limited quantity, guys. I promise you. You don't have a lot. You don't have a lot. And this, you could wear it like this. You could hold it like this. You could put it around your head like this. You could put your hand like this. You could travel with it. So anyhow. So you could go and get it right now. Repyourcolor.com. It's a nice, sexy bag, guys. It's a nice, sexy bag. And of course, if you're for the gym buffs, you know what I mean, you go into the gym and you want to represent, and you have your sweater already. So all you need now is this. All you need now is this. All right. So all you need now to keep it flavory. All right, guys. So much for our merch, our brand new merch. Let me bring in now a gentleman who knows what hope is, who understands what hope is. And again, if there is anybody who understands more what hope is, I don't think that there is, but this man knows it all. His name is Mr. Byron Jackson. Mr. Jackson, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure chatting with you, Byron. You know, we had this great conversation earlier, and you are a great individual. I just spoke to you virtually, but I get your vibe. Very good and positive energy. So tell us a little bit about yourself from the start, Mr. Jackson.
My name is Brian Jackson with two eyes, so you kind of have to roll the tongue, you know.
So
Ryan.
Brian.
Brian. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, right here in the United States, and I'm a motivational speaker and a life coach. I also sling T-shirts, but I got to tell you, I think your bag that you just had on is way better than anything that I put out. So
let me tell you, man.
That is you're right. That is a sexy bag.
That is a sexy bag.
Everybody needs to get that sexy bag.
I'm telling you, it's the bomb. Absolutely. Brian, listen, man. I want to start. I want to start with, I don't know where to start actually, because I think that there are so many things, so many parts of your story that is exciting, and I want to get that motivation on the program. So let's start with, as a child growing up, as a tender age. Tell us your early upbringing. Tell us about your early upbringing.
Some early dreams.
Your early upbringing as a young man, young child.
I mean, I think we all just grow up wanting to just be normal. I think that's every kid's hope and dream. I think everybody wants to just be normal. They want to fit in somewhere. They want to be a part of society, regardless of the color of their skin, regardless of their disability. Our earliest dream and our earliest mentality is always answering that question: am I enough? Am I loved? Am I worthy? And the answer to all three of those, no matter who you are, all across the world, absolutely. You are loved, you are worthy, And yes, you are important and you're supposed to be here. And I think those things stem back. And at least from my childhood, those were deep questions that I was asking because I didn't have quite the normal childhood. I mean, even when I was hanging on my my deathbed, I just wanted to go to school. When I was told I was going to die, I just wanted to go to school because I saw that my sister went to school and that was a normal thing. And I just wanted to be loved, accepted, and wanted. And so, life got crazier and I started, conquering the odds. And then I would think my dreams kind of changed from there. I think growing up, I wanted to be a Power Ranger because I wanted to fight crime. I wanted to be like, hey, crime, what's up?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
superhero.
fight you.
Yeah.
And two, I wanted to be a whale trainer because I watched Free Willy. Don't know if you've ever seen that movie.
No.
You just the whales jumping out of the water, Michael Jackson music's playing, and yeah, it's a beautiful picture. And then the third thing is I wanted to be an underwear model, but we don't have to talk about that today.
That's some great dreams. I mean, I one time thought about being a model. I started to do bodybuilding, and then I realized I'm not into going to the gym every day. I got lazy after a period of time. But you know what I mean? You got to stay fit. Now I'm getting a little tummy, and it's not really attractive if you want to go out on stage half naked in front of people. So that dream kind of slightly away. But you had something happen to you at a very early age that really changed your life forever. Tell us about what happened with your father.
So when I was 11 months old, my father, who is a blood technician or phlebotomist, stole HIV tainted blood from his workplace. My mom and him were kind of going through an argument. They had an off and on relationship. And then they had me, which kind of complicated things. My mother was very loving, very supportive. My dad was in and out of the picture. And so he took that HIV tainted blood. He showed up at the hospital I was staying at for when I was having an asthma attack, and I was about ready to go home, got my mother out of the room, and he intentionally took the HIV tainted blood and injected me at 11 months old, hoping I would die off. No one would ever know he did this. And I would die, and he would get away with not having to pay child support. All ties, all loose ends are covered. And he can just, I don't know what he wanted to do.
So he, as a phlebotomist, he didn't do it as a mistake. It wasn't like, something happened. He willfully wanted to kill you at 11 months.
Yes, sir. So he intentionally went out of his way to plan this heinous crime.
Wow. How did anyone find out about it? That's what he did.
So one of the very last things that my father ever said to my mother was, "Don't worry about looking me up for child support. Your child's not going to live long." And we didn't think anything about that until 1996, when I went from being this playful, happy, energetic 5-year-old to this bloated, feverish, sick kid. I was being tested for numerous diseases, even rare ones that only exist in other countries. And then they came in and said, "I don't know how to explain this, but we're going to test them for HIV." The results came back. I was diagnosed with full-blown AIDS. And what that means is that my T cell count was at 0. I had nothing in my body to fight off any infection. So I had 3 opportunistic infections, diagnosed with full-blown AIDS, given 5 months to live. And anybody in my condition would have been dead within 3.
Wow. So you developed full-blown AIDS. And I mean, of course, no one understood while he was having all these infections. No one understood why a child that's supposed to be running around playing and energetic was all sick all this time. How did your mom react when she found out that that's what happened?
Well, my mom actually had a dream and tried encouraging people to test me for HIV, and was like trying to remind the doctors of the threats that my dad made. And she was just, oh, they were just treating her like she was some crazy woman. Like, no, nobody's never done that. That's impossible. Nobody can be that wicked or vile. And so I think there was a moment of relief that finally they know what's wrong with me. But I think there's something deeper that's like, it set in that now I'm going to lose my boy. Like, if she didn't already fear that, she definitely felt that now, because in 1995 and 1996, AIDS was a death sentence.
Yes.
It was very rare for people to survive full-blown AIDS, let alone AIDS. And so, here I am in the hospital. She's staying with me 24/7. And I'm waking up through nightmares, asking, Mom, please don't let me die. Please don't let me die, like screaming, crying. And, she always told me it's going to be okay. She didn't know what was going to be in store, but she always reminded me that it was always going to be okay.
So all of this time that you was going through this stuff and sick and in the hospital, where was your dad? Did he come around, or did he just get out of the picture before?
He stayed around in the picture for 2 months. After he intentionally injected me, took off out of the picture. Nobody really knew where he was, or what he was doing. He continued on to live his life. And, when I got sick, they launched an investigation. They found him, they arrested him, and they finally sentenced him to life in prison for first-degree assault.
I want to get to that, because that is good that he was caught and he was prosecuted and he's in prison for his deed. But I want to go back a little bit to the treatment that you received, being in hospital and sick and catching every single disease, because as you said, and everyone know, with HIV, with AIDS, your immune system cannot fight any disease. I mean, a cold, you catch like everything, because your immune system, your T cells, who's the fighter cells, is unable to fight any disease that comes in. How were you treated? What kind of treatment did you receive?
I mean, there was really no treatment available for children who are dealing with HIV. So one, we, if you know, still in 2022, medicine's expensive. Back in the 90s, it was still expensive. So my mom was maxing out credit cards and trying to get me approved for adult medication. And so I was put on 23 medications, 2 IVs and 3 different types of shots that I had to get daily.
Ooh.
One of those medicines actually made me lose my hearing, so I talk a little bit different with an accent. We don't all speak like this in St. Louis, Missouri. So yeah, the list of medicine goes on and on and on and on. And I mean, we were at this place that, like, the medicines weren't working. The medicines were doing more damage. So, I mean, my family just began to pray, and we were just praying hard. And each day, God gave us another day. And so it wasn't just this magic wand moment where, like, boom, abracadabra, he's better, right? It was like a long, drawn-out process, a process that where we had to live in poverty so I could afford the medications I was on. We had to live in poverty so I could get around the care, around-the-clock care. And it was hard for me and my siblings.
I could imagine so. What about school and other activities that you would have normally do as a child? Did you get to participate in these things?
So the first day of school, I was not allowed to go to school. And like I said in the beginning of the segment, I just wanted to be normal. I just wanted to go to school. You know, I could have used this time to be like, oh, let's go on vacation every day, you know. But no, I was like, I want to go to school. So they weren't sure about how to receive an HIV positive kid in school, and so my mom, and then they came back to my mom and they said, oh, well, why don't you homeschool him? And she said, no, my son's not going to be homeschooled. Oh, well, why don't you put him in the homebound program? And all these excuses. And she said, no, 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 no. And finally they said, okay, he can come to school, but he can only come for half a day. He can't use any of the water fountains, and he can only use a restroom in the nurse's office.
Wow. What year was
So
that? Was that 1498?
Yeah, so you can imagine being a 5-year-old, and when you're trying to blend in and get people to like you, right? Because that's what you do. And when you're kind of young, you watch and observe, and you're like, oh, they like the Power Rangers, so I'm gonna like the Power Rangers. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And now we have a bonding. So we're going on these bathroom breaks, but I'm not allowed to go to the bathroom. So I'm like this odd kid out. He's like doesn't have to go to the bathroom ever.
Right.
Or, oh, he can't drink from the water fountain. So they knew something was wrong with me. And on top of that, I was already being bullied for being hearing impaired. And I had these like hearing aids that made my ears like stick out. I had glasses on. So you can imagine that, you know, kids are brutal sometimes. They would just pick one thing that was wrong with me and just go with it and bully me there. So as time passed, I was able to start going a full day of school. They decided to change their policy about the restroom and the drinking fountain, but the bullying continued to happen well into middle school.
Yeah. I mentioned what kind of year was that, because I can't imagine that in this decade or decade before. Well, I could understand it, because even up to today, people still have a misunderstanding on HIV. People think that if they drink water from a fountain, or if they drink water from a cup with somebody with HIV, they're going to catch it too. So there was very little education about HIV and AIDS. But it was startling that in school, they was thinking that other kids can use the same water fountain as you because you had HIV. I thought the education would have been even more in schools. That says that that's not how you catch it. That is not how you catch it. You know, and you have to live through that. Did you go through a period in time that you was feeling very depressed and just want to not go in and just want to not be a part of all of the things that was happening?
I think towards middle school, when I was dealing with bullying every day, it did start to make it hard to go in. So it was like physically exhausting. It felt like a chore to go to school, because it's like, okay, I go to school and I get this grief from the teachers, or I get the grief from the principals, or I get the grief from everybody else. Everybody's just bullying me. And at the end of the day, like, I just wanted to be home. I just wanted to sleep all the time. And so, you know, in middle school, funny story is kids would start physically bullying me. They would start laying their hands on me. And I would tell an adult. I would tell an adult, and the adult would say, "Oh, just let us know if it happens again. Let us know if it happens again." And so I decided to believe, like, these adults don't exist to protect me. And so I had to start protecting myself. And when I protected myself, I was the one who received the most severe discipline. I was the one who was kicked out while somebody else got detention. I was in my 7th grade year. I won't forget this. Was called into the principal's office the last time after a fight. And my principal said, I don't think you should come back to school next year. I can see you dropping out and going to prison. And even proceeded to tell me that I'm the problem child. And here's what he meant by that is, if I just wasn't there, there would be no problem. So that's when I took it on myself to have 3 knives in front of me, and I asked myself, which one can cut deeper? And I was ready to just end my life. I felt like I would be doing everybody a favor. I don't have to be the problem anymore. I don't have to be. But in that moment of desperation, this voice of hope called me to my Bible, and I opened it up and it said, "Why sit down, cast on my soul? Put your hope in God." And that was like a light bulb moment where I was like, what is hope? What is this? So I was like, okay, I'm going to put this off and I'm going to start searching for what hope is.
Right. I want to get into that, but let me just recap for everyone who just joined us. If you just joined us, guys, we're talking here with Brian Jackson, and he has a very unique story, guys. Very, very, very unique story. At the tender age of about 11 months, Brian was injected with an blood from, HIV blood into his body. No one knew why Brian, I want to get it right, was catching all these diseases, like everything. Because with HIV, what happens is it diminishes your immune system response to attack things. Like whenever there is anything that comes in your body, your T cells, all the immune system fight off all of these diseases, right? It's like an army, the military, the Air Force. That's what they're for. But they were weakened. They're weakened by HIV. He developed full-blown AIDS. So he was catching everything. A simple common cold could possibly lead to something pneumonia because there is no immune system to fight it off. So he was diagnosed with HIV, full-blown AIDS. He was given medication, 20-something different medication, IV, all these different things to try to save his life. In the process of getting all these different treatments, some of the treatment and the medication was working against him because, he is considered right now, as he would say, legally deaf. It made him different effects. So that was one of the bad effects of the medication that he was taking. So that's a synopsis of where we are. Now, he grew up going to school. He was being teased. He was being brutalized. He was depressed because, of course, people are making fun of him. And I understand this because as a kid growing up, I had a big ears. I mean, I still have a big ears. But I understand just by looking or seeming a little bit different, how the kids and them could pounce on that and tease you. So I understand. So he was very depressed throughout the process of school to the point where he even contemplated taking his own life. And if you guys have ever or never experienced anything like this, this is still a good opportunity for you to share the program to get more of your friends involved in listening Brian's story. Very, very important for you to do that. So if you have not shared the program as yet, I want you guys to do it right now. Just click that share button so you guys could hear the remainder of his story. I want to talk about hope. And I want to get into that because it's very important. But before we get into hope, your father know, not to go back too much, but I want to dissolve that part of the conversation. They found out that your father injected you, and he was arrested. What do you remember about the process? Or how long was he arrested? How long is he in prison for? And that whole process of him being incarcerated. What do you know about? What do you remember about that period?
I don't. I mean, I'm 31 years old now. So you're asking me to go back to like 1996. So about like 2.5 decades ago.
Right. Well, true. Because I can't remember 2.5 days ago, to tell you the truth.
But what I remember about it is here's what I do remember about it. My mom was always honest with me. She told me my dad did something bad. I didn't connect the dots yet. He was the reason why I was sick. I saw him on TV. I saw him in the newspapers. It was a nationwide story. There was 2 stories that shook the nation that year, and one was man injects his son with HIV, and the second is Bill Clinton says, I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Oh, you was competing with Bill Clinton. You was up there then.
Yeah, so I don't. So there's very limited I know, and so as a 5, 6, 7-year-old, I went through this whole process just like very innocently, and I remember when we had to write the closing state during the sentencing, my Aunt Debbie just read this paper because she was asking me if there's anything I wanted to say to my father. And I innocently, not knowing what I was going to endure for the rest of my life, I just said, why can't he say he's sorry? Every time I get in trouble and I say I'm sorry, it makes things better. And the man has not apologized to this day. And there's been several times. And so even though he has life in prison, he has still been up for parole several times. And I as much as I've forgiven him, I do not have a relationship with him. And I have advocated for him to continue to serve in life in prison because I'm still serving a prison. And, we can talk about forgiveness because forgiveness doesn't mean that, you should just allow the other person to walk all over you or get off scot-free, Forgiveness does not mean forget. And so that's just where I am in life, I don't remember a whole lot about it, but there's bits and pieces that
But he is serving a life sentence. He is serving a life sentence. And I think that's well deserved because, as you said, you are serving a life sentence for what he inflicted on you. So that's justice, at least justice right there. But let's talk about forgiveness. Let's go in a little bit on forgiveness now because it's the hardest thing for someone to perceive sometimes, to forgive someone who did something so life-changing to you. Where do you start? Where do you start to forgive someone for doing something like that?
As I kind of went through life and I found Jesus and I found, God and started like relying on him more, there came this moment where I felt like I was stuck in traffic. And I'm not talking about, New York, trying to get from Jersey into New York. You know what that's like, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about like real life traffic. Like you feel stuck, but you're trying to get somewhere where you can't go. And I realized that I had all this baggage. And when you have baggage in life, the best thing to do, instead of like live with that baggage and, keep on, carrying it around, is to just simply let it go.
Right.
And so I was like praying, like, how do I let this go? How do I let this go? And God keeps on pointing out all these verses that says, God truly can't forgive you unless if you forgive your enemies. Forgive one another. Forgive. And I was like, oh no. You guys have that moment where you're like, I do everything, but I won't do that. Okay. And so I was like, okay, maybe I can start forgiving people. Maybe I can forgive my sister for making me play Barbies with her, right? Little things. And then before you know it, out of my mouth came, I want to forgive my father. Because what I realized is forgiveness isn't about the other person. Forgiveness is about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Forgiveness is about freeing yourself from the situation and being able to name and claim that situation and being able to move on. Because when we don't forgive, what we're doing is we continue to be trapped in this cycle. We continue to eat that baggage. We continue to eat that filth, whether it's through our feelings, whether it's in our mind. It just keeps on going and going and going. And so when we forgive, it removes us from that situation. And we allow ourselves to be open to a new identity. And when we allow ourselves to be open to a new identity, we start to see things differently.
Mm-hmm.
But the more we see our identity by what has happened to us, the more we're playing that victim role, we're never going to be able to live in the victory. So you have to ask yourself, do I want to be the victim or do I want to live in the victory?
Right.
And that's a big thing that I had to go through and answer myself. So yeah, forgiveness isn't about the other person, it's about yourself. And forgiveness does not mean that you have to forget. You
Right.
can still forgive somebody. Listen to me, everybody.
Mhm.
You can forgive somebody and you don't have to welcome them back into your life. Whether it's an ex from the past who did you wrong, whether it's maybe a situation with a parent or a family member, just because you forgive them, that means you are moving on and it's about you. And
Mhm.
you do not have to be back in a relationship with them. And that is exactly where I am with my father. That's where I'm with a lot of other people. And like I do not allow what has happened to me to become an identity. I've allowed my new identity to start speaking for itself.
Mm.
And after I forgave my father, a huge weight lifted off of me. And that's when
Yes.
I started to become undetectable. And what undetectable is when they draw for your blood to test for the HIV, they can't find HIV in your system. I'm not
Mhm.
cured because if I go off my medication, HIV will come back. But
Right.
I believe that the moment I chose to forgive and let the past go, the present opened itself to me and the future was open to me to decide. And it kind of gave me that clean start. And so here I was, 16 years old, forgiving my father, became undetectable. And man, the possibilities of, going into the future, with good health, good mindset,
Mhm.
good
So
hope.
you went from full blown AIDS. We ain't talking HIV. We're talking about full blown AIDS, which a lot of people would consider even HIV as a death sentence, which is not, especially in this time, day and time. But you went from full blown AIDS to now being undetectable, right? So I want to talk about getting there, medication, consistent working, and what you had to do physically. I know that the forgiveness and all of that is internal, but what about external factors? How did you get from here
So,
to there?
yeah, so the way I look at health and the way that I try to describe health to people is mind, body, and spirit. So obviously you could see that in what I just already told everybody about the forgiveness and about the mentality. That's taking care of the mind and the spirit. Now the body part of it, that's a kind of a tough one, especially when you're even on the outside of your body, you can look great, but the internal as well. So what the internal looks like, the external. So through medication, through working out, really working hard, eating the right things, those are all things that played a role in that overarching thing to help me get to a better, healthier place.
Right, right. That is important. Guys, you're watching this very powerful story right here. And I'm hoping and wishing that a lot more of you guys could take in some of this because we are not in a good place. A lot of people are very, very stressed out. A lot of people are just not where they want to be. And they're looking for one thing. And quite possibly the thing that they're looking for is hope. And this is the mantra I want to take away from this conversation here today. The mantra of hope, which he's wearing it on his hat, he's wearing it on his shirt. And that is the overall overarching conversation that we're going to have. The question of hope. What is hope? How do you find hope? Where is hope? What is hope? And that is a big question. So guys, I'll give you guys another opportunity to share. And also, what we're going to be doing is open up the phone lines because I know some of you might want to chat with Brian here a bit. I'll give you guys an opportunity to do that as well. If you want to call in, the phone line is open right now. And throughout the program, number you could call is 718-701-5720. That's 718-701-5720. That is our number right now. And we are moving on. Until we get that call, we are moving on. Hope. Now, before we go on to hope, because I want to leave hope for a little bit later, myths of HIV. You said it earlier, as going into school and people were saying, Make sure this boy don't drink from this this water fountain, or make sure he don't use this side of the bathroom, and all this stuff, segregation. Let's talk about some of the myths that people perceive that HIV is, which it isn't. Talk to us about some of the popular myths that some people get mixed up with.
I remember speaking at a school that said that you can get HIV through eye contact. And so I remember reading that and going around the school and being like, hey, you got it. Being polite and dangerous at the same time.
Yeah.
But no, you can't get HIV through eye contact. Just like it was once said that, oh, you can get HIV through a toilet seat. You can get HIV through kissing or hugging or holding hands. No, you can't get HIV through any of that. HIV is only it's transmitted through 4 different fluids, and that is vaginal secretion, breast milk, blood, and semen. And so what has to happen is it has to be an open contact on open contact. So blood on blood. I can't just, go wipe blood on the surface and then somebody touches that blood a couple hours later. They would not become HIV positive. So I think that's the big myth is a bunch of big myths is how is HIV transmitted? So that's the thing about that. I think another big myth is that HIV is a death sentence. And it's in 2022, HIV is not a death sentence, and it has not been for a long time. We have medication that is available to prevent HIV from happening. We have medications to start once you feel like an HIV transmission has happened to prevent you from getting HIV. And then there's the sooner you can get treatment, the more you can manage HIV. And if you can get that treatment that manages HIV, you're going to live a long and healthy life. You can become undetectable to where you don't have to worry about transmitting it to other people. It shouldn't affect your love life. It shouldn't affect your social life. What are some HIV myths that you have heard?
Yeah. Well,
maybe I can break them down for you.
Yeah, some of the things that we touch on, contact. People think that if you sit in a seat next to someone, it's not like COVID. It's not airborne. A lot of people think that it's transmissible like that, but it's really not. And it's important that you brought up the prophylactics of HIV. Of course, if you're having sex, a condom is preferred to prevent the transmission of HIV. That's one of the most common ways. But there are also medication. I know that there's one called PERF. Is it PERF or PERC? Is it PERC? I can't remember the name of it. But there are prophylactics. I don't know if you know from the top of your head some medication that you could take if just regularly, even if you don't have HIV, you could take it to prevent the transmission of HIV. Do you have it? Do you know?
Do I have HIV?
No, not you. Not if you have it. But do you know some of the prophylactic medication that you could take to prevent it?
Oh, so that's called PrEP.
PrEP. That's it. Mm-hmm.
And so PrEP is kind of the same medication that's available for HIV patients, and it's just a mixture of things. And here's what I would like to also say about HIV medication. You used to have to take those 23 pills a day. I take 1 pill once a day. And the resources that have been poured into HIV funding, actually there's shots that you can get that you can take once a month for HIV treatment. So there's alternatives that don't have to be overbearing.
Right.
And I did want to go back to somebody is asking about, can you get it by kissing?
Right.
So here's an interesting fact. First off, when they tested saliva for HIV, they realized that it would take like 2 tons of saliva to carry 1 HIV cell. Can you imagine? So when you're making out or you're kissing you're not exchanging that much saliva. If you are, you're doing it wrong, right?
Yeah,
I
they
mean, 2 tons of saliva is a
listen.
lot,
Some people
right?
don't know
Yeah,
how to kiss. Let's put it like that. They're
you're
like
filling
spitting
the
all over
ocean.
there. The
You're
ocean.
filling the ocean, man. And so what I want to say is you cannot contract HIV through kissing. Kissing is one of the safest activities you can do. You're right; it's not airborne. The things you do have to watch out for, and I tell everybody, it's not just HIV that you use universal precautions for. It's everything you use universal precautions
Yes,
for.
true.
And so sometimes I tell people if it's wet and it's not yours, don't touch it. And so, if you ever go to a tattoo parlor, you can see that they use a new needle every time. They wear gloves. They put all the tattoo equipment wrapped up in plastic, and that's to protect you, and that's to protect the next person. So we can do the same of protecting ourselves, making sure we're not, doing anything that's risky behavior. But
Right.
kissing is completely, absolutely 100% safe. And the medication and the side effects of medication. The side effects used to kill you from medication. Well, they have eliminated a lot of the side effects that come with HIV medication.
Yes, 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 absolutely, and it's important because we did a number of shows on that. We're gonna under this program we're gonna put some links to some other programs that we did talking about HIV, because what we also want to get across to a lot of our viewers is that HIV is not a death sentence, right? And it is not a death sentence. There are so many different medication that you could take and live a perfectly normal life. There are people who take this medication and they have kids, and their kids doesn't catch it. They have partners, they have sex, and their partners doesn't catch it because they are undetectable. The viral load is so low that it's undetectable. And that's where we are in terms of science and technology and medication in 2022. So for anyone that's watching that is going through anything like that, know that if you contract HIV, doesn't mean that you will die tomorrow. That is a long, long, long myth that people believe that, I'm going to die. No, there are a lot of medication right now that people are living perfectly normal life. Someone asked a question earlier, I don't know if you want to talk about it, but how does HIV affected your personal life? Do you have to tell someone, you meet someone, you have to say, okay, well, I have HIV. Is it something that as a conversation starter or something? I don't know.
So you asking about my love life? Is that?
But that's what they want to
know.
know.
I saw some comments over there asking about my love life.
They want to know. They want to hook up. They want to hook up.
So I mean, HIV obviously has affected different parts of my life. Okay, and one of the big parts it has affected, besides my social life, is my dating life. And I mean, some relationships I've been in, it's just boy meets girl, girl meets boy. It just doesn't work out. But then there's some relationships I had where fathers accused me of trying to kill their daughter. Fathers tried to, wrestle me, like physically wrestle me, and then tell me I need to break up with their daughter because I'm a danger or a threat to the daughter. So I mean, here's my advice for anybody who has an illness in dating. This is what I've learned over the years. Rip off the Band-Aid as soon as possible. That's what I've learned over the years. Is just rip off the Band-Aid as soon as possible. Because if they can't accept the worst in you from day one, then they're not going to accept it on day 100 or day, 1,000, right? So, you go ahead and rip off the Band-Aid right then and there. And if they accept you, awesome. You have something worth pursuing. And that's how I do. If you want to wait, that's totally cool. That's your preference, but that's my advice for anybody. Even somebody who's depressed. I mean, that's something I come out with, and I say like, hey, there's times that I'm not going to be up and like be all hoorah rah every day, and that's just a part of my life.
Right.
So I've had to just tell people, that's who I am, and if you can live with that, cool. If not, like, it was nice knowing you, and good luck.
Right. Right.
So yeah, that's been the ups and downs of my dating life, and my goal is to find the one and to get married and to have beautiful children. Um, I'll tell you what, I kind of want 20 kids, but the more I get older and realize how
Pretty
everything's
kid.
getting like how
Yeah.
everything's getting
Yeah.
expensive.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Everything's getting expensive, right, man? So I'm probably settle for like one or two.
Yeah, yeah. Trust me, 20 kids. I have two, and I can't
You
imagine
got
20.
two?
Yeah, I have two. One of them is actually
Congratulations.
running the thing right there. He's right there. He's my son. He's the production manager in here. Um, 20 of them is much. Just put it like that. It's too much. It's a lot. I want to talk about this word. This word. This word right here. Hope. Tell us about hope.
So I always ask people and tell people we all have struggles, but do we have a strategy? And no matter what kind of day I'm having, is I have this outlook of hope. And as a speaker, I've always wanted to share the first off, hope is vital. Most people don't know this, but
Yes.
I'm gonna blow people's mind on the show.
Right.
I believe that everything in life deserves a new meaning and deserves a beautiful meaning. So I took HIV. I don't even know how to do this. HIV, right?
Oh.
And I created a new meaning. Hope is vital. And so that's what I truly believe about. I think life is better when we have hope. And I don't think hope is just like magical thing. It's not abracadabra, it's not rainbows and unicorns. Hope is a mindset that keeps us mentally strong to make it through the trenches, to make it through the struggle, and hopes that tomorrow just might be better.
Right.
It's that outlook that, in life we're carried into this world and then we're crawling and taking baby steps. And before you know, we're running and we're taking leaps of faith. When we're taking those leaps of faith and we fall short, how do we get back up? Or how do we make those leaps of faith? And the answer is hope. And hope is truly vital. And so hope is this thing, this embodiment that we can use in business, we can use in relationships, we can use in raising children. I know the day your son was born, you probably said, I don't know what I'm doing. But what did you
True.
have? You had a lot of hope, right?
Yeah, I had hope.
And you're like, and you're just playing like by the rules of like, hey, I just gotta hope. I hope I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, right? So that's why hope is vital. It's not just this magical thing. It's actually a mindset and something that we can all live by and something that we can grow in and that makes us better. It helps us persevere. It helps us suffer well. It helps us be better people.
It helps us suffer well. Because we all have suffering.
We all suffer. It doesn't
We all
matter who
suffer.
you are. Everybody has a story of suffering. And we shouldn't sit around the campfire being like, hey, oh, I've suffered more or I suffered. It's not a competition. We need to get out of that competition mindset, right? And even hope is not a competition. Well, I hope more, so that's how I came over myself. Like, it's not a competition.
Right.
But it is a spirit that we can get like into and say, hoorah. It's that spirit that gets us off the sidelines and gets us active in everybody in our lives and all the lives around us.
Hope is vital. What if you don't have hope? The absence of hope.
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
I said, what if you don't have hope? Or what would emerge if there is an absence of hope in someone's life?
Well, I have to tell you, I can only speak from experience. And in my life, when I didn't have hope, there was only one path that I was heading. And that was a path of destruction. That was a path of anger. That was a path of despair. That was a path of being suicidal. That was a path of believing that I'm not lovable, that I'm
Right.
not worthy. And so all these things, like your mindset's just so weak, like you're so gullible to all these dirty things in life.
Right.
But when you look through the lens of hope, you can finally see a little bit of sunshine, even though the rain's still pouring. You can finally say, oh, well, it's going to rain on Wednesday. But hey, Thursday is a beautiful sunny day.
True. Burbis has a question here. He says, what's more important, hope or faith? Or do they go together?
So what's more important, hope or faith, or do they go together? I think they absolutely go together. In life, we get into these mindsets where we have to choose either or. But sometimes in life, it's there's both and situation, right?
Right.
You can get the best of both worlds.
Uh-huh.
And so, like, when I'm having chips, right? It's not do I want queso or do I want guac? It's I want queso and I want guac, right? Because that makes the chips experience even more better.
Right.
When I travel to the country, people are like, "Hey, do you want rice or beans?" And I'm like, "I want rice and beans."
Beans. Okay.
Because it goes hand in hand. So I believe they go hand in hand because you have to have faith and hope for hope to truly be active, and you have to have hope to continue to have faith. So they go hand in hand. It's a both and experience, not an either or.
Right. Hope is vital. And I could relate to hope from a business perspective because as a business person, if you have no hope, you basically don't have a vision. You basically can't make an investment because you're taking funds or money or whatever financial investment and putting it into something that's not already materialized for you. So you have to have faith and hope that you do get the sale that you could recoup as a business person. So I completely understand why, from a business perspective, why hope and faith goes hand in hand. And I think that is a positive message. You need to have hope. You need to have faith. Get the rice and the chicken, not just the rice. Get both of them. You went so far with the hope that you have a whole list of stuff, a whole list of items that's available with the hope. With hope is vital. Tell us about some of the products, merchandise products that you have, and where could people pick it up?
So you can go to hopeisvital.co.
Okay.
And at hopeisvital.co, we have different T-shirts, hoodies, hats, and stuff. And 10% of all of our proceeds go to giving back. And so wherever there's a need in my local community or the worldwide community, we want to make sure that we are on a mission to give back, because that's extremely important. You can take all day long, but if you want to be extremely blessed in life, you
Right.
have to learn to give it all away first. And when you allow yourself to give it all away, you have open arms to receive. So
Right.
giving is extremely important. And I think that's a part of my story I would like to highlight, how important giving is. And my mom always told me that giving was important, to where I was like, hey, the more you give, the more he digs. So if you want to be blessed and bless other people, you can check out hopeisvital.co. Buy a shirt, buy a hoodie, buy a hat, and remember 10% of our proceeds go to giving back.
I like it. Hopeisvital.co. That's the website right here with all the merchandise products. Hopeisvital.co. We got hoodies, we got shirts, we got caps, we got t-shirts, we got everything right there. And love it. I'm gonna buy a few of them. Buy the hat. I think I'm gonna rock the hat. Next time you see me, guys, I'm gonna rock the hat. Hopeisvital.co. Nice. Now, Brian, I really have to applaud you for what you have done. You took a bad situation, what could have been a bad situation, and you changed it into something that is so powerful and so hopeful. And now you're sharing your story to the world and you're changing lives. So I salute you, my brother.
Thank
Good
you
going.
very much.
Yes, absolutely. Any last word you want to leave with for our viewership to take away? Final words.
I would just tell everybody that the bravest thing that you can do is wake up. It's a freedom. And realize that in life there's get to and there's have to. And everything that we do in life, when we're living in the hope mentality, when we're looking through hope, we don't look at it as an obligation of a have to. We look at it as a gift of a get to. And what I mean by that is every morning that I wake up, how do you get through the day when you're depressed, when you're broken? You know what? You get up and you realize you're alive. You realize the choices that you have. And you say to yourself, I get to get up today. I get to drink my coffee. I get to go to work. I get to smile and see beautiful people. I get to make a difference because it's not an obligation. It's a wish. And so I think all of us need to wake up and realize the freedom that we have, even in our darkest moments. And I want you all to remember that we need to let people catch us in our excellence and remember to leave things better than when you found them. And I hope that today, I, Brian Jackson, have left you all who are listening today better than when I found you. And I'm so grateful that I found you. And this has been an absolutely blessing and amazing thing.
Absolutely. We're happy that we found you, Brian, because you have really, I think, inspired many. And it's funny that when we have this type of conversations that a lot of people could benefit from, their lives could benefit from. They could fill up their tank with so much inspiration and goodwill and good words and good thoughts and just good vibe. A lot of people don't gravitate to good news. They gravitate to negativity. They gravitate to bad news and things that is that they deem is more sensationalized. But for the people who chose to watch and be a part and take in this, your life will forever be a blessing. And your life will be a blessing to Brian because you are doing this and you continue to do this. And we'll support you every single way that we can. Thank you so much again, my brother. And we're going to keep in touch. All right?
All right. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Great. Thank you. Yeah, man. Round of applause to Brian, man. He came through. And he inspired. He educated, and he was able to let people understand that although you might be going through some difficult points and periods in your life, although things may not start off good, although as a child growing up, you may be dealt a bad deck of cards now, yeah? Your cards are not all aces. You have some little bush cards in between. You were not given the best. You wasn't born with a gold spoon in your mouth. You didn't get the best kind of treatment. You didn't have a family that could afford everything. You were born or you grew up, in modest terms, But knowing that where you came from that early beginning, doesn't dictate where you are going. Where you are going is based on your vision and your faith and your, got it right, your hope. Your hope. That's what it is. That's what's important. I'm seeing Agatha. What Agatha says. Agatha said, Brian, would they be perfect person to speak to? Oh yes, Brian would be a perfect person. Yes, absolutely. We're going to try to link that up. Yeah, the question of hope. We all need a blessing, guys. We all need it. We all need it. Thank you so much, Charlotte, Nurse, and everyone who stick around when we have positive and inspirational programs like this. Yes. Pick up all yourself, man. Love you, love you, love you, love you. So when you hear all the negative talk, guys, is the people who don't take in stuff like that. The people who don't come in and consume good information, but quick to run with negative and bad information. Just tag this program to a friend. Just tag this program to a friend. Tag this program to somebody. Because they need to hear this. They don't feel like they need to hear this, but they need to hear this. They need to hear this information. From the beginning straight up to the end. Brian's story would inspire. Thank you again. Vision and hope it works. All right, guys, so I was telling you earlier that we got to big up the sponsors, the people who make it possible. And we have some new merchandise products that I was showing you earlier. We just came out with the new bag. This is the new bag. Very sturdy, very sturdy. It's in the stores right now. It's repyourcolor.com. You can get it there, but it's very limited as well. Very, very sturdy travel bag, guys. You could go and cop it right now in the stores. Of course, you could get the... Yes, it's available as well. You could get that there. And not forgetting, of course, this is the Grenada products. Yes, should put it up. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Jacoby, doing his thing. We also have the shirts, the sweaters, and all this stuff. Now, you might be saying, okay, this is only Grenada branded stuff. But no. In the store, guys, we're just finishing up, doing some final touches in the store. But repyourcolor.com will be where you'll find products, items, and services from all over the Caribbean. St. Vincent, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, everybody would
business or event to the next level? Advertise on Ridealong Live and reach over 10 million viewers worldwide every month. With a global audience tuning in for the latest news, entertainment, and culture, your message will get the exposure it deserves. Don't miss the opportunity to showcase your brand to a diverse and engaged audience. Ridealong Live, where the world watches and your business grows. Contact us today to get started.
That's the bag, and the bag.
What if you had a choice? A choice of joining a line or a choice of making your purchases online? What would you choose? While you ponder on that, the National Lotteries Authority has provided another purchasing option. All their games are now available online. Yes, Grenadians! From wherever you are, purchase your favorite daily and jackpot type games using any electronic device. Register on the NLA's website at www.nla.gd. Top up your account and enjoy online lottery gaming at your convenience. We're taking shopping comfort up, up, up several notches. But the choice is yours. Join a line or buy online. NLA, make your dreams come true.
Excursion and Tours weekly e-bike rides. Gather your family and friends for an unforgettable ride through stunning landscapes. Book your adventure today at ridersabike.com or call 473-422-1011. Don't miss out. Let's ride.
Of course. I got to tell you about Celebrity Cruise in Grenada. If you're going to Grenada for Carnival 2022, it's all about Celebrity Cruise. That's Carnival Thursday. Carnival Thursday. Yeah, Carnival Thursday. About the Romanos 1 and 2. It's Celebrity Cruise, the return of